4:30 on WKYT this morning. Lexington police say they have made a third arrest in the murder of a pizza delivery driver. We'll have the details coming up next.
We hear from the pilot of a plane forced to make an emergency landing on a Kentucky highway, how he narrowly avoided a complete tragedy.
And a year and a half later, a Lexington woman says she is not letting an accident get between what she loves. That story and more coming up on WKYT this morning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's your Friday, and we welcome you into WKYT This Morning as we get set for that weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith, and we're expecting a wet weekend, unfortunately, but hopefully Mike has got a little bit of good news for us.
Yeah, I think I do, especially as we get off towards Saturday. Saturday doesn't look as wet as Sunday, so if you have any plans on Saturday, which we do, we have a lot of festivals going on, a lot of events, then you should be able to get at least most of the part in. Right now, looks like that shower is now moving out of the region. We are clear and dry. A little patchy fog here and there. Temperatures pretty mild this morning and also humid too. 82 degrees, a few thunderstorms again today as we slide in toward the afternoon. That weekend, I'll really break it down in further detail in just about 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. And new this morning, Lexington police say they have made a third arrest in the murder of a pizza delivery driver.
Late last night, police arrested 23-year-old Trey Relford for murder, robbery, and tampering with evidence. He joins 30-year-old Antonio Lewis and 28-year-old Cameron McClellan. A police spokesperson says he was arrested in connection to the murder of Salahuddin Jitmood last month. Jitmood was found stabbed to death in a breezeway at a Lexington apartment complex in April. Investigators say he'd been delivering pizzas there.
It wasn't for if it weren't for some quick thinking, it might have ended in tragedy. We're hearing this morning from the pilot who had to land his plane on a Kentucky highway. Around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Robert Kenyon was flying from Indiana back to South Carolina, but he says his plane started to go down. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has the story.
The problem started at 5,500 feet.
It started running just slightly rough, so I did the first thing you normally do.
But after Robert Kenyon did everything he could do, he says he knew the plane was going down.
I didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest with you.
He's 1 mile north of the east-west interstate.
In these radio transmissions, you can hear air traffic controllers talking to another pilot, trying to relay messages to Kenyon as he prepared to land on Highway 555.
Did you get a response from him, sir? He is currently descending through 1,300, and apparently he has the highway in sight.
I did what I'd been trained to do. I flew the airplane.
Kenyon says there were 2 cars on the road at the time, so he circled to let them know he was going to land. Still, he just missed one of the cars.
I was coming right at her, so she had to see me. I knew she did, and she was smart enough. She moved out of the way of the road, and I landed the airplane. And if she hadn't moved, it would have been a lot worse.
That woman then stayed with him until help arrived. A woman Kenyon is grateful to.
She's a hero.
In Washington County, Garrett Weimer.
And the woman who says she saw the plane coming down and got off of the road says it was a scary moment, but it couldn't have gone better than it did. Well, state police and federal agents raided 2 Lexington businesses for part of what they called a major investigation. Police raided the Progress Market on North Limestone and the Food Mart on Eastland Parkway yesterday afternoon. Investigators say they believe the businesses were reselling stolen items. Authorities say they have been working with Kroger's loss prevention for more than a month.
Today we were in the right place at the right time, and actually we made narcotics arrests, and it was kind of a 2-for-1 today for us.
Troopers say they will continue these investigations and more charges are expected.
A Pike County man facing attempted murder charges says he's not guilty. 54-year-old Donald May was in court yesterday. State police say Wednesday they were called out to a home for a shots fired call. Troopers say when they got there, May started shooting at them. They say they had to fire back, wounding him. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. An Eastern Kentucky bank is offering to help those affected by a recent disability payment suspension. Hundreds of clients of Floyd County Attorney Eric Kahn were notified their benefits are being suspended following a fraud investigation. Citizens National Bank is giving financial assistance to customers who received a letter from the Social Security Administration. The bank says they are providing loan payment extensions and refunding some overdraft fees.
So we don't want them at this point to be afraid to come and talk to us as bankers. We all know that when you get in situations like this, you know, people start hiding, you know, they're afraid to come out and talk about it. We're all community people.
The bank says if you are a customer and would like assistance, stop at one of their locations in 8 eastern Kentucky counties with the Social Security letter.
After a recanvass yesterday, the Republican candidate for governor is finally set. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes announced the recanvass showed no changes between Matt Bevin and James Comer. Comer had asked for the recanvass after losing to Bevin in last week's primary by 83 votes.
As the chief election official, I could not be more pleased with the responsiveness within which my staff, as well as the County Board of Elections across the Commonwealth.
Grimes announced there was no change in the state agriculture primary either. If Comer does not file for a recount, he would have to do that by today. Bevin will face Jack Conway in the November general election. Today would be the last day again to file for a recount. A Southern Kentucky high school is facing some controversy, and someone said that they shouldn't have a prayer during a graduation ceremony. Leaders at South Laurel High School will not initiate a formal prayer, but they say it doesn't mean that students and families can't pray. A Laurel County superintendent says they will not prohibit any student from praying. State Senator Albert Robinson of London says that's why he sponsored a religious freedom bill to allow a voluntary student-led prayer.
Where that they could pray in school, they could mention God, or what in their speeches or in their homework. They could have the same as any other group that was allowed. They'd have use the school facilities.
Robinson's bill did not pass the General Assembly. School officials say their conclusion on the matter came after researching the law.
Well, it's been more than a month since 2 devastating earthquakes in Nepal, but folks in Lexington are still working to help the victims of that disaster. The Central Kentucky Council for Peace and Justice teamed up with the Forum of Nepalese in America last night to raise money for victims of last month's quake. The groups put on a comedy show, even showcasing some traditional Nepalese dancing. But despite the upbeat atmosphere, the event organizers did not forget why they were there.
I do think it's important that we realize that we're connected to people maybe halfway around the world, more directly than we think so.
If you would like to donate, you can find a link on our website, WKYT.com. Well, after a tough decision, a Lexington woman is working on reclaiming her life with a new prosthetic leg. Back in November of 2013, Lisa Schaefer was hit by a truck while on her bike, severely injuring her leg. After more than 2 months in the hospital and almost a dozen surgeries, Schaefer decided to have it amputated. Now she's in the process of getting fitted for a prosthetic that allows her to do everything she did before the accident. She says despite all that's happened, she still loves what she's doing.
You don't know how wonderful it is. I never knew how much I love music until after this accident, because knowing it was almost taken away from me.
Lisa's new prosthetic leg cost $35,000. A GoFundMe account has been set up for her. We have a link to that on our website, WKYT.com.
A popular Lexington gym will be closing its doors today for good. The West Main Street location of LA Fitness in downtown Lexington will close this afternoon at 2 p.m. Staff members there tell us the current members and staff will be transferred to the other 2 locations in town. There's no word yet from the gym about why they decided to close. Various concept drawings for the Centerpoint project showed area as part of the project. We'll get ready for some spectacular shows next season. Last night, Eastern Kentucky University revealed its list of artists and performances that they expect to showcase later this year. Some of the expected guests include country music singer Vince Gill, as well as Carrie Elwes from The Princess Bride and the Blue Man Group. Organizers say it is good to finally be able to show off their upcoming acts.
This is always the most exciting time of the year because you do kind of spend such a long time. There are things that I've been working on since last September actually. And now we're finally at that point. You kind of keep it under wraps, and then there's this big reveal.
Had fun down there last evening. I was among those helping MC the event, still up at that hour, as you see there last night. But nice crowd to hear the big lineup for the next season at EKU's.
And how are you doing at this hour?
Well, okay. How about you?
I'm making it.
Yeah.
Ask me in about an hour.
I understand. Friday morning, though, on WKYT this morning, we're just getting started. We have more news on the way.
Are you throwing an outdoor party? Monster Day has some tips to make yours the best place to be when WKYT This Morning returns.
And we're looking outside, seeing plenty of rain there for the weekend, at least part of it. And I'll explain when you can see that dry spot coming up in just a few minutes.